Hello, my amazing artists. Today we are going to be working with clay again to create less of a functional piece and more of a sculptural work of art. So we are going to be working to make these tropical toucan birds. It is two different parts. The first one is the base or the rock and feet, and the second part is the body. Later, after we finish with the clay, we will put 2 chopsticks inside for the long legs. Later, once we paint it, we will also add some feathers and pipe cleaner details to make it look extra special. Let's take a look at what we're going to need today. We are going to be using just water, pencil, and our clay. We don't need a map today because we are going to be making more coils than slabs. And the slabs that we do make, we can make in our hand. First, begin by making sure that your clay is hydrated. Then, break your clay into 2 sections. I would like you to use the little bit bigger section for the base. We want the base to be heavier so that our bird on top does not knock over or topple over based on the weight ratio. With this part of clay, break off just a little bit for the coils of the feet. I'm going to tip him up so that we can see his rock and his base a little bit better. You'll notice that the feet are made out of coils that have some texture on them. For the rock, begin by making a rough sphere. Actually, it's definitely okay if it's not perfect. I smooth out a few of the bumpy parts, but then generally, we are okay to make it any shape that we want. Go ahead and give it a little bit of a firm pressure onto the table to create a sturdy base. Then we'll use the remainder of our clay to make 6 coils. So actually you can partition your clay into 6 parts for the toes. Then work them into fat coils with a little bit of a point at the bottom, kind of like carrots. And if it's too much clay, break off some before working to scratch and add water to the parts where you will attach those coils to your rock. Now that we have the toes put on, take your pencil and add some texture to the tops of the toes. All right, we have part 1 of our sculpture completed, and we can set this to the side now to begin working on the body of our bird. For the body, we are going to have roughly 4 parts. We have this big body, the beak, the wing, and then I call these 2 details, the eye and the coil. Okay, let's begin with the body. The body is going to be a long coil that is a little bit flattened and a banana shape. My clay is feeling a little bit dry, so I will make sure to hydrate it before I begin working with it. I want this clay to be nice and sticky because I'm going to be attaching pieces to it. So to ensure that, take your clay and mold it into a banana shape with kind of a fat part closer to the top. Make sure it's nice and thick because later we will be putting the 2 chopsticks into the bottom, so we want that to be a little thicker, and I may add some more clay to mine. Okay, I have the body shape, and I'm going to make a very similar form but smaller for the beak. It's okay if your beak is a little bit bigger like mine. I think it's a bit cute. Now we are going to attach these 2 pieces. And this is kind of a precarious attachment. So it's really easy if we just put it on so gently that it will eventually, once we put it up, it will fall off when it dries. So we want to not only scratch and add water, but we also want to merge these 2 clay pieces together. And this part can be a little bit messy looking. Because remember, later on we're going to put a coil here to hide this attachment. So we're not going to worry too much about how pretty it looks. We really want to make sure that it is secure and stuck on properly. All right, now that we have done the beak, you can also add details now, or we can wait till later. I think I'll wait till later when I do the details on my wing and eye as well. For the wing, we're only going to worry about one side of the body of our bird, and this one is a small slab that we can do in our hand. Make a slab in your hand, and then use your fingers to mold the clay to be the shape that you'd like it to be. Once you have a general wing form, go ahead and attach it by scratching and adding water. Last thing we're going to do is to make the coil for the beak attachment as well as the eye. The eye is two simple spheres that are flattened down. We always scratch, add water, and for the eye, we can press and make the eye super big, and that's okay. I like to add a second sphere on top to add additional detail. And to really ensure that they're stuck down, take the back side of your pencil and add a circle on the inside. Maybe even poke deeper for the pupil in the center. Let's add our coil to the attachment of our beak. This will hide some of those hard working marks that we made. And you can wrap it around the back. The back of your bird won't matter so much what it looks like. We are going to focus mainly on the front. Now that I've attached all of the parts of my bird, I can add a line for the beak, maybe some texture for the wings, and if there's anything else I'd like to add. Okay, boys and girls, these are the only things that we are going to worry about today. Later, when your clay is a little bit more dry, I will add a hole for the details like the feather and the pipe cleaner, as well as stand it up onto its stilt legs. We want our clay to dry just a teeny bit before we move into doing those steps. So you will have a bird and a rock to finish your work today. All right, boys and girls, have a fun time.